An old lady lived in a small village. She was kind, wise, and always cheerful. Everyone in the village admired her and often sought her advice or shared their troubles with her. One day, a young man from the village asked, "How are you always happy, no matter what happens? Don't you ever feel sad when things go wrong?" The old lady smiled warmly and said, "My dear, life is full of ups and downs. Some days are good and others are bad. But I've learned that happiness comes from within, not from what happens around me." Curious, the young man asked, "How can you be happy even when bad things happen?" The lady shared a story from her past. "When I was young, I had a family, a husband and children. We weren't wealthy, but we're happy. Then one day, my husband fell ill. We couldn't afford medicine, and he passed away. It was the saddest time of my life. I cried endlessly and thought I would never be happy again. But over time, I realized that being sad wouldn't bring him back. My children needed me, and I had to find a way to be happy again. I began to see life differently. I accepted that life always has good and bad moments, but I chose not to let the bad ones steal my happiness." The young man asked, "How did you do that?" She replied, "Each morning I tell myself, today is a new day, and I will find something to be happy about. Some days, it's harder. But I always find something, like the sun shining, a flower blooming, or meeting a friend. There's always something to be grateful for." Still curious, the young man asked, "What if something really bad happens? How can you stay happy then?" The old lady explained, "It's not easy, but I remind myself that everything passes, even bad times. When difficulties arise, I focus on the good things I still have, my health, friends, or simply being alive. Happiness is a choice. You can focus on the bad and feel sad, or look for the good and be happy. It's not always easy, but it is possible." The young man thanked her and decided to try her advice. From that day, he looked for something good in every situation. Over time, his life improved, even during tough times. He learned to stay positive and find happiness in small things. The old lady's wisdom spread throughout the village, and more people began to see that happiness isn't about possessions or circumstances. It's about how you view life. They learned to be happy in every situation, just like the wise old lady. The village became a happier place, thanks to her teachings. Happiness, they realized, is a choice that comes from within.